The 2021 NFL Draft will be one of the most talent-filled drafts in recent memory. Whether it's powerful running backs or accurate quarterbacks, this draft is sure to be remembered. Here are the top 5 offensive prospects. Number 5. Najee Harris. Najee went to high school at Antioch High School in California. He played running back on the varsity team. Najee's freshman season was nothing to be amazed by. He recorded 165 yards and 1 touchdown. In his sophomore season, Najee rushed for 2,263 yards and 23 touchdowns, an enormous improvement from his freshman year. In his junior and senior year, Najee rushed for a combined 552,000 yards and 70 touchdowns. Najee was ranked the number 1 prospect coming out of high school. Najee was given offers from every school. He committed to Alabama in 2017, but didn't have a big effect in his freshman season because he was 3rd on the depth chart behind Josh Jacobs and Damon Harris. Najee's first 2 years, he had only a combined 1,153 yards and 7 touchdowns, but averaged over 6 yards per rush. In his junior season, Najee was finally named the starter, and he took full advantage of being in the starting lineup. Najee recorded 1,224 yards and 13 touchdowns, which was almost as many yards and touchdowns as the previous 2 years. Many thought that Najee would declare for the NFL Draft, but he decided to stay in college one more year to finish his studies and solidify his collegiate career. In his 4th and final season, Najee showed all why he should be the first running back selected in the NFL Draft. Najee helped lead Alabama to a national championship berth. Najee is projected to be a mid-first round pick. Number 4. Justin Fields. As a high schooler, Justin attended Harrison High School in Georgia. He played 2 seasons as the starting quarterback. In his first 2 seasons combined, Justin totaled 4,187 passing yards and 41 passing touchdowns. He added another 2,000 rushing yards and 28 rushing touchdowns. Justin attended the Elite 11 quarterback competition and was named the MVP. Coming out of his senior high school season, Justin Fields was named the number 1 quarterback prospect by ESPN. In 2018, Justin committed to Penn State, but then changed his mind and withdrew. He later committed to the University of Georgia to be closer to home. As a freshman, Justin sat behind Jake Fromm. Justin sat behind Jake for the entire season, but he got playing time here and there. After the season ended for Georgia, Justin announced that he would be transferring to Ohio State. Most were shocked because Justin was born and raised in Georgia, and he had won the starting job after Jake announced for the NFL Draft. In 2019, Justin went 13-1 with the Buckeyes and recorded over 3,000 yards and 41 touchdowns in the semifinals of the college football playoffs. Justin threw for 300 yards and 1 touchdown, but he threw 2 interceptions, resulting in a 29-23 loss to Clemson. The following year, Justin helped push the NCAA to start the college football season that was canceled due to COVID-19. Because of games being canceled due to COVID-19, Ohio State only played 6 games, and because of the lack of games played in 2020, Justin's stats were reduced. He only threw for 2,000 yards and 21 touchdowns. In the semifinals of the playoffs, the Buckeyes had a rematch versus Clemson. With outstanding play by Justin, the Buckeyes won 49-28 and earned a spot in the national championship. Justin is projected to be a high or early mid-round pick. Number 4. Penei Sewell. As an offensive tackle, it's hard to be the 3rd best player in the draft. That just goes to show how good of a player Penei is. Born in a small town in American Samoa, Penei was always a big kid. Penei's family moved to St. George, Utah when he was 12. Penei started to play football as a freshman in high school. Immediately became a starter for his team. Penei played all 4 years of high school, showing all schools he was a force of nature. Penei was a 4-star recruit coming out of high school. He was given offers from almost every school. Penei signed to Oregon and played there till his junior year. Penei showed throughout his college career excellent pass and run blocking. Penei opted out of the 2020 college season due to COVID-19 and spent the year getting ready for the NFL Draft. Penei is projected to be a high first-round pick. Number 2. Devonta Smith. Born and raised in Amite City, Louisiana, Devonta attended Amite High. Devonta played 4 years as a wide receiver from 2013 to 2017. In 2015, Devonta had a 12-minute highlight tape, but he only played 4 games due to an injury. In 4 games, Devonta had over 650 yards, 12 touchdowns, and 6 interceptions. That's extremely impressive. Devonta only started 3 games as a cornerback. All coaches were immensely interested in Devonta. Coming out of high school, Devonta was given offers from about every school. Devonta committed to Alabama. Devonta's freshman season, he wasn't a starter because of an already loaded Alabama roster. He caught 8 balls for 160 yards and 3 touchdowns. In that same year, Devonta caught a game-winning touchdown in overtime in the national championship game versus Georgia. As a sophomore, Devonta had 20 receptions for 693 yards and 6 touchdowns. Although he had a solid first 2 years, Devonta was ready to show everyone why he should be the first wide receiver off the board. In his junior season, Devontae recorded 68 receptions for 1,200 yards and 14 touchdowns. At the end of the 2019 season, everyone thought that Devontae would be a first-round pick, but shockingly, he decided that he would stay at Alabama. This proved to be a great decision by Devontae. In 2020, he caught 105 passes for 1,600 yards and 20 touchdowns. Devontae became the first wideout to ever win the AP Player of the Year. Many thought that Clemson quarterback Trevor Lawrence would win the Heisman, but with his outstanding play, Devontae beat out Trevor and won the Heisman. Devontae helped lead the Crimson Tide to the 2020 National Championship. Devontae is projected to be a high first-round pick. Number 1. Trevor Lawrence. Trevor was born in Knoxville, Tennessee, but played at Centreville High School in Georgia. Trevor was arguably one of the best high school quarterbacks ever. In his freshman season, Trevor threw for over 3,000 yards and 26 touchdowns. For a freshman, that's impressive, but it only got better from there. In his sophomore season, Trevor threw for 3,655 yards and doubled his touchdowns from his freshman season, throwing 43. In his junior season, Trevor completed 250 passes out of 406 throws for almost 4,000 yards and 51 touchdowns. Trevor broke records for most passing yards and passing touchdowns in the state of Georgia. This record was previously held by Texans quarterback Deshaun Watson. In all 4 years of high school, Trevor led his team to 41 straight wins. Coming out of high school, Trevor was a 5-star recruit. In December of 2016, he committed to Clemson for his college football career. In his first season at Clemson, Trevor was able to beat out his teammate Kelly Bryant for the starting quarterback job after 4 games. After being named the starter, Trevor led the Clemson Tigers to an undefeated season. Clemson was ranked the second best team in the college football playoffs. After a blowout win against Notre Dame, Trevor and the Tigers were going to a national championship. In the championship game, Trevor threw for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns. Trevor was named the national champion MVP and the National Freshman of the Year. In his sophomore season, Trevor led Clemson to another undefeated season. Trevor helped get the Tigers to yet another national championship. Unfortunately, Trevor didn't throw any touchdowns in the game, and Clemson lost to Joe Burrow and LSU. In his final season, Trevor went undefeated for the 3rd time, but then lost to Ohio State, a game back from the 2020 National Championship. Trevor threw his 3rd straight 3,000-yard plus season and 24 touchdowns in 2020. Trevor declared for the draft in December of 2020. Trevor is projected to be the first pick in the 2021 NFL Draft. The 2021 NFL Draft is going to be loaded with talent. Comment below who your favorite team should pick. Once again, thanks for watching Instant Sports.